Dive into the vortex where enlightened wokies face off with undeniable truths. Ignite discussions and witness the crumbling of unfounded claims right before your eyes.
People of color in this country are dying at a disproportional rate.
What are the numbers?
What are the numbers? Yeah, you tell me. What are the numbers?
You made a claim that they're dying at a disproportionate rate. Tell me about it.
They are. Girl, you tell me about it. Girl, what are the numbers?
What are the numbers? You made a claim. Give me the numbers.
A lefty claims that black individuals are disproportionately affected by certain issues. Where's the evidence?
Do you think
you're 7'5"?
I said 8.
Oh.
Yeah, get it right.
How
Andrew.
did you
Get
come,
it right,
how did you
Andrew.
come to that value judgment?
Because I don't put within my value within a rigidity. That's not the right word. Rigidity. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't put that within that rigidity of certain, I guess,
Value judgments.
more subjective opinions about what value is, because I know my value, I know my worth, and I know my beauty that I hold within myself for myself, and that is appreciated by other people, because at the end of the day, beauty is subjective, and it is absolutely within my right to hold myself to a higher value and how I conduct myself in the world around me.
A woman insists she's only 8. Well, sure, if you add 1, 8 times.
Listen, thank you. It's true. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. So what do you guys think about that statement?
Yeah, I would say that sounds pretty racist to me. If you putting it directly on like a certain race and you're saying that they're this type of people and you downgrading them in that way, that's definitely racist. I would say that.
Let me read you the transcript from Time Magazine. This is the transcript of what he said, okay? And it's pretty interesting that mainstream media always leaves a little certain part out.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Is that a racist statement?
Well,
critics call Trump racist, but a replay of his speeches has them second-guessing their stance.
Do you feel as if there's like a really important like social aspect to like being a man, you know, that just doesn't simply get like transcribed by your chromosomes? Do you think that there's like something more to like humans than just like their
I think there are
sexes?
masculine qualities that attach to biological manhood that have been generalized. They don't necessarily apply to everyone, because you can have effeminate men who don't necessarily fit those categories. If you were to ask me what makes a good man or a useful man, I would give you a description that would include social categories like protecting your family, going out and earning, making sure that you build institutions in your society, right?
So nothing that has to do with chromosomes.
But
nothing like chromosomes.
in the end, if you have to ask for a definition of male or female, what you're talking about is the most irreducible form of this is the biology, which is why you can uncover a body from 30,000 years ago, and a scientist can tell you whether it is a male or a female without ever knowing how that person lived.
All right. Ben Shapiro logically dismantles a trans activist's arguments. Checkmate.
I think my answer would be I reject humanitarianism. I think that we have to put American people first, and I think that trying to extend empathy and resources to people who aren't American leads to more problems than solutions for the whole world. Like, for example, we tried to be humanitarian and help out people in the Middle East, and you look at how that region has become destabilized because of America.
They gave them f***ing weapons. Like, come on.
So a lot can be done under the guise
it didn't
work
out too well there. There's a difference between helping out with like food and water and like, you know, essential resources versus offering someone weapons and a blank check. There's a huge difference.
Offering free resources being food, water, shelter, clothing to tens of millions of illegal aliens means that they come in and compromise the integrity of our sovereignty as a nation, take away the right of Americans to self-determination and autonomy. I think that that's not a good result either. I don't see why they can't get food, clothing, shelter in their countries.
Like I said, I can't think of a solution that protects Americans, but is also like, you know, kind-handed.
Wokies stutter when faced with logical questions about the implications of illegal immigration.
I would understand if you're arguing against late trimester abortion, but that is only
so why is that
if
wrong?
the life of the fetus.
Why is late-term abortion wrong, in your opinion?
Because at that point, like almost to the point of pregnancy, that is close to a life, because it has most of its
So you're going to bet somebody's life
organs.
on the word it's close to a life? You're going to bet a baby's life on that?
Yeah, because before that, it's not even conceivable to imagine that you can classify that as a life. Who would want to live like that? You can't even survive outside of your host's
I'm
body.
pretty sure everybody here started out like that. 24 days, it already has a beating heart. So anytime after 24 days, is it a person if it has a beating heart?
Pro-abortion liberals falter under the weight of scientific reasoning and logical argumentation.
What do you think about the turnout on the Trump side?
I'm not worried about it because the truth is evident.
What's the truth?
Go look at the news. You know it just as well as I do. That I don't have to explain nothing. I'm 37.
Okay.
Have a great day, man.
What's your age have to do with that?
It's not my age, baby. I'm gonna have wisdom. I've got children of my own and all that. So, baby, weren't you born in the 90s? I need you to get out my face. 6 foot. Ooh, 6 foot. 6 feet. Thank you.
Pro-Biden supporters struggle to articulate why they back him. Empty support?
Left and be pro-life anymore. Hello.
Hi.
I'm Austin.
Come and join the conversation.
Cool. What do you want to talk about?
I just want to see what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. We're talking about free speech on campus and how bringing a conservative on campus has resulted in some flack and some backlash from some of the students. And talking about sharing multiple ideas and kind of hearing both sides and engaging in free speech and dialogue on campus and how important that is. Do you agree?
I think it's a difficult question. I'm interested in what you have to say.
About what specifically?
Free speech, or that's what we were talking
Michael
about?
Knowles or free speech, or are you here for the...
My original entry into this conversation was to find out what you are talking about. That's why you're here, right? You want
talking
to...
about free speech.
Yeah, so talk about it.
Okay, that's an interesting way to approach people.
We're asking, do you support free speech? That's what we're basically asking.
I don't have to answer your questions. I'm asking
I guess
you
you
a
don't
question.
support it then? Is that
Of
why you
course I
don't-
support
Okay,
free
thank you.
speech. But there is a difference between free speech and hate speech. I'm sure you're aware.
And what is the difference?
The difference is one is oppressing people and the other one is just having your say.
Do you think there's a legal difference?
I'm not answering your questions. Now you're harassing me. I wanted to ask you.
Well, you approached me. I was just standing here having an interview with this nice young man.
A leftist professor interrupts a discussion on free speech and then accuses others of harassment when questioned. Can't handle the heat.
Like maybe that is a sliver of what is going on, but the great majority of trans kids do have tons of conversations with the adults in their lives. Rarely is something done immediately. I know a lot of trans kids and or on the non-binary spectrum, and very, very, very rarely do you do something when you're under 18 that is not easily reversible, like puberty blockers, which are easily reversible, because you can stop taking them and then puberty happens again. Some of them do. Yeah.
The statistics on this are 98% of children who start on puberty blockers progress across sex hormones, because you're not just signing them up for puberty blockers. These kids are committed to this whole pathway. They're told that first they need to stop their bodies from developing because it would be too traumatic for them to appear like their actual sex. It would be traumatic for a young girl to develop into a woman.
Walkies receive a factual lesson on the risks and realities of puberty blockers.
So where would we hide a revolver if we were naked? Where? I know where you think, but it's not a good idea. Yes. No more rich people, no more poor people when we get naked again. Yes. Whether you're slim or fat, we're just naked. Visit the Olympics. Let's live how we were born. Naked. Let's live how we were born. So, welcome to the Weird West. That's pretty weird. It's a little weird. Just gonna put that out there. It's weird. It's not just weird, it's insulting, obviously.
Ben Shapiro challenges drag queens who recreated the Last Supper at the Paris Olympics. Disrespect or freedom of expression.
The numbers, the border crossings were down to record lows. Now they're to 10 to 15,000 a day. So you can't possibly say they're the same.
Sure.
So Tom Homan, who was Barack Obama's border chief, 30 years in the position, said Donald Trump was the best on the border of any president he ever served under, right? So you can't compare those two. On the economy, everyone would here agree the economy was better under Donald Trump than Joe Biden. Everyone would agree. They would say that higher wages, prices were more affordable, the economy was more stable, period. On wars, how many new wars started under Donald Trump?
None.
How many under Joe Biden?
I forget.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to even count. I mean, you have Gaza, Israel, Iran, you have Ukraine, Russia, you have Yemen against Saudi Arabia. Under Donald Trump, no new wars, period, globally, across the planet. It's never happened before in 30, 40 years, so you can't equate the two.
Charlie Kirk closes down a student's comparison of Biden and Trump policies with hard facts. No similarities found.
Listen to the new mask policy at Bowman Middle School. So I go in there and I put on my typical mask, and they said, oh, that mask is inappropriate. It's too distracting. Let me ask you this, Mayor Munz, please explain to me how this mask at all is distracting when I'm literally trying to protect these kids from COVID, okay? And they're trying to say that this mask is inappropriate. Sorry, my husband, he's gonna get so mad if I'm speaking in my human voice. He's gonna make me sit in the kennel all week. But they're trying to say that this mask is inappropriate for students. I'm trying to protect myself from COVID. I got 5 vaccines, but everybody knows a vaccine is not enough, all right? So I'm out here, I'm barking every day. And these students, I'm trying to bark at these students, I'm trying to teach them something. I want them to learn. I want them to know that we live in a world of inclusivity and we need to be more inclusive. I'm a pimp on a blimp, but they try to look at me weird because I have this mask on. What's wrong with this mask?
Alex Stein brings sarcasm and humor to a city council meeting, leaving the room in stitches or in shocks.
We cannot fully identify a gender of a person right when we see them, so therefore I believe that it is not within my own individual liberty to gender that person.
Here's my problem with that particular argument. The answer is that in 99.8%, 99.9% of cases, you absolutely can gender somebody based on looking at them. Like really, if you're going to use intersex people as an example of not being able to do that, this does not obviate the biological duality of sex upon which all progeneration is based for all of human history and for all mammalian species. So intersex people do not invalidate the concept of sex as a generality. Intersex people are people who have a biological anomaly. And by the way, in most cases of intersex, those people still manifest as either a male or a female. So the idea that intersex exists does not invalidate the idea that there is a male and that there is a female, or that in nearly all cases, I can tell the difference between a male and a female.
Ben Shapiro educates a lefty on identifying gender through mere observation. Science speaks.
Because you are a Democrat, you are willing to overlook the crimes of the Democratic Party. But let me tell you this, the Democratic Party is in fact, the party of slavery and segregation and Jim Crow and the Ku Klux Klan and lynching and all the horrors of American history, including complicity with fascism, the internment of the Japanese Americans in World War II, the reigniting of the Klan in the late teens and 20s. All of this was done by Democrats, and they were opposed all along the way by Republicans. So the problem is that today, if you're a Democrat, you're a committed Democrat, you like the welfare state, you like Obamacare, or you're a progressive historian, you are in the awkward position of having to confess to a whole series of crimes that your team did. Crimes, by the way, that the Democratic Party has never admitted, never apologized for, never paid 1 penny of restitution for. So this is a very ugly position to be in.
A speaker systematically breaks down the historical misdeeds of the Democratic Party to a supporter. Facts hurt.
So she's come here to tell you that you shouldn't talk to me because what's going on in America today is illiberal people like this woman here think that you shouldn't be allowed to have a conversation about child harm. So she's come here to tell you to make sure that you're feeling safe. She doesn't even believe that you can possibly agree that we shouldn't be mutilating children because she thinks it's totally fine to mutilate and sterilize children. And she's come here to tell you that you shouldn't be talking to me because I'm spreading.
Are you actually trying to shut down the conversation?
I was just wanting to say that oftentimes when organizations have cameras, they usually edit videos in a way that it may not be favorable to you.
So it is true.
So it is true. You're coming over here to shut down conversation.
A wokey attempts to disrupt an interview and gets schooled. Interruption failed.
Well, I believe in the First Amendment. Do you believe in the First Amendment?
Do you?
Do you believe in the First Amendment? I've allowed you to sit here and scream at me for an hour and a half and
I'm saying I don't believe that you should have the right to
things.
take away my access to a clean, safe abortion as a human right. I have the right to have the autonomy over my own body. You have the right to your autonomy over your own body. We both get knocked up, have sex, both of us pregnant. You want to abort it? You don't want to abort it? Your decision. If I want to abort it, I'm going to fucking do that. Okay. So who are you to sit here and tell me?
Yeah, so I don't want to own a slave, but you want to own a slave. Am I supposed to just sit around and say that?
Do not sit here in front of a microphone and compare owning a slave to me, you white fucking bitch. You have no idea sit here and say this shit to me.
Ma'am, that is the argument you just made.
No, it's not. No, it is not. That is your incorrect interpretation. That is a logical fallacy. You think you can sit here and go ring around the rosy with me?
Argument. Are you done with your question? Because you asked me like.
You haven't answered anything. You've actually just made a statement and completely deterred my argument in a completely different way. Oh, do you think that you can own a sleeve? If I want to own a sleeve, can I own a sleeve?
A pro-choice advocate loses control when compared to a slave owner. Extreme but effective analogy. Want to catch wokey moments in 4K? Watch till the end. Subscribe, like the video, and comment wokies for a chance to win a brand new iPhone 16 or a cash prize. Also, don't forget to check out the next video on the end screen for more chances to win.
They record us.
Recording you. Yeah, why are you guys recording us? You can record anywhere you want in public, anytime you want.
Well, put your window up then.
Put your window up. It's a First Amendment right. You know anything about the Constitution? Go eat your butt. Yeah, you are an asshole, aren't you? How do you like Joe Biden? How do you like Joe Biden? I don't like that motherfucker either. Well, then what's the problem? Why don't you like what we're doing for Trump?
Your friend is filming us.
That's legal. You're allowed to do that.
A Biden supporter accidentally hits his own wife with coffee while aiming at Trump supporters. Misfire at its finest.
Do you think that Pride is a place for kids?
Yeah, it's not inherently sexual. People like to see it that way, but it's really like, it doesn't have to be something that, you're just, everybody's out here having sex and stuff. No, it's about accepting that, like, other people like other people, and that's fine.
Do you think that the Pride Festival is a place for children?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a safe space.
Do you think that the Pride Festival is a good place to bring children?
Absolutely.
Wokies claim pride parades are child-friendly, but their attire suggests otherwise. Suitable or scandalous?
Do you disagree with that?
I do disagree with that. What else can they not consent to? I mean, think about it. Can they consent to going
They can't consent to having sex with an adult. They can't consent to... They're not allowed to drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes.
So you agree with this message?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I do not.
You think if a 10-year-old says, I want to block puberty and become infertile, that's fine?
I think they and their parents should make that decision together.
What if they don't even have their parental consent? What do you think about that? Because they don't need it in California.
Just all get rid of all of it?
I think the child should be in the driver's seat about who they are.
So you think girls can be boys?
Have a good day.
How does that work? Do you have any idea how a girl can be a boy?
Lacking a solid argument, a wokie flees from a debate. Runaway logic.
Which one? Do you support Hamas?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hamas all day. Palestine, that's
No, so whose side do you pick? Palestine or Israel?
the H word. I like them. Good name.
The Hamas?
Yeah. Hamas, Hamor.
Do you know what side they're on?
Not really, but they have the better name. I think marketing is big in this war.
Well, some people would call them terrorists, and then some people would call them like freedom fighters.
Oh, yeah, it's like gangs in New York. Yeah, you don't know who's who, basically.
Some like Hamas for its cool name, ignoring its status as a recognized terrorist organization, misguided admiration. For more wokey videos, click on the screen right now.